to my lesson number 1. Today we're gonna cover a topic about value of the note. So I will explain to you what kind of values we have, and we will try to fix them with the beat and try to see what is the difference between different values of your notes. So the longest note is your whole note, and whole note has 4 beats. I prefer to compare 4 beats to 4 seconds. It's actually very easy when I'm explaining to my students. It's makes it more easier for them to understand. So basically, your whole note, it's a long note that lasts for 4 seconds. For example, oh. Now with my right hand, I'm making 4 seconds. So oh, and this note that I'm singing, oh, it lasts four beats. I'm calling it oh. It's just easy to memorize. And next note is half note, and it has 2 beats. And why I'm drawing in this way, because if you will add up 2 half notes, you will get 1 whole note. So basically within one whole note, you have two half notes. So each of them is even 2 beats. So, and I'm calling them to. Sounds like this. To. That's it. 2 seconds within one note. To. 2 seconds within one note. All right. If I will split my 2 to into 2, each of them, I will get crotchets. I will get 2 crotchets in each half note. So crotchet has 1 beat. So if I have 2 crotchets inside one half note, it means that 2 of them added together will make 2 beats. And I'm calling my crotchets, I'm calling them ta. It's easy. So basically, if you see a note that is colored inside and with a stick, it means that this note has only 1 second inside it. So the length of this note is 1 second. Ta, ta. So now if you will take a look on a board and try to add 4 ta, you will see that it's equal 4, and obviously 4 of them can fit in one whole note. Now, if you will split each ta into 2, we will get 2 TT. Each of them will have 2 TT, two quavers. Each of them will have 2 quavers. One quaver has half beat. So if you will add 2 of them, and if you will take a look on the board, so 2 of them it can be fit in one crochet. It means that each of them is half beat. So half beat, the same. Each of them is half beat, and I'm calling them TT. They are TT. It's easy to memorize. So basically within 1 second you need to be able to say 2 TT. TT, TT, TT. If I will try to sing notes, for example, C and E, I will sing C, E, C, E. If I need to play them on a piano, I will play C, E, C, E. So 2 of them will fit inside 1 second. And finally, last rhythm that I will introduce you today is our 16 notes or semi-quavers, And inside each quaver you have two semiquavers. You have two semiquavers. They look similar to your quavers, just only one difference between your quavers and semiquavers, that they have two beams. So your quavers, they have only one beam that stick on the top of your notes, and your semiquavers, they have two beams. So semiquavers, they're really fast. They sound really fast. So I'm calling them tilly, tilly, tilly. And each of them fit in quarter of your beat. So quarter of beat is each of them. So your two tilly will be equal half beat, and 4 tilly tilly, they will be equal 1 beat. So if it's 1 beat, it means that 4 of them will fit in 1 second, like this. Tilly, 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 tilly. If I will sing notes C, D, E, F, because it's 4 of them, so I'm singing 4 notes C, D, E, F. I will sing C, D, E, F, C, D, E, F, C, D, E, F, or C, F, C, F, C, F, C, F. So basically they will be very fast, much faster, twice faster in comparison with your quavers, and 4 of them will fit in 1 beat. Alright, so now you got an idea about a value of each note, and at this point I would like to start with your crochet instead your whole note. So maybe it will make it more clear to you how to count them and how to read them. So instead of writing whole note here, I will start with my crochet. So basically we have crochet that has name ta, and it has 1 beat. I'm calling it ta because it's easier to memorize and it's easier to sing when you're learning the melody. So for beginners, when you're not sure how to call each note, you're not sure about the names of the notes, it makes it much more easier to learn rhythm first, and you can do it with using their kind of short names instead of trying to recognize each note straight away and sing it together. So if you split those two activities, recognizing notes and singing rhythms, it's gonna make it much more easier for you to learn the piece that you just started learning. Okay, so ta crochet has only 1 beat. So ta 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 ta. 1 beat also. In 1 beat we also can fit 2 tt. 2 tt will fit also in 1 beat. 2 tt also will fit in 1 beat. So they will sound like this: tt, 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 tt. In the same 1 beat, we also can fix 4 semiquavers that in my lessons I'm giving them a short name tilly tilly. So 4 of them will fit in 1 beat as well. 4 of them will fit in 1 beat as well. So this is something that I notice makes it much more easier for students to understand about how all those notes are linking with each other, and their differences as well. So obviously each of them is getting a little bit faster. So tt twice faster than ta, and tilly tilly 4 times faster than ta. So when we have 4 tilly tilly, 4 of them will fit in 1 beat. So tilly 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 tilly, C D E F, C D E F, C B A G A A, C D F, G, A, tilly, 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 C, B, A, G, F, F. Okay, now I would like to introduce to you the writing of these two notes of your quavers and semiquavers. Their writing when they're written separate, because you're not always gonna see them linked together. And so each of them, when they're written separately, they will look like this. So your TT, they will look like this. So basically they have stem and they have flag. So you need to make sure that that you pay attention. So notes, your notes TT, when they have one beam, they will have one stem. Your tilly tilly, your semiquavers, because they have two beams here on top, they will have two tails. You see, they have two beams and they have two tails. So in the future, when you learn notes that are more short than your quavers and semiquavers, you will see that it also works in the same way. So amount of beams creates an amount of tails on each note. So they still have the same lengths. So two TT written separately, they're still gonna go for one beat, and for tilly tilly, they still for semiquavers, they're still gonna go for one beat. Going back to our half note and whole note, I just wanted to make sure that that you memorized it, that your half note that has an empty circle and stem. So if you will compare your crotchets, quavers and semiquavers, all of them are colored. So your half note is not colored and has two beats, and your whole note is also not colored and it has no stem. It has 4 beats. So it's basically long notes that have more seconds inside than one. Now I will explain you about rest. So each note, our whole note, our half note, our crotchet, quavers and semiquavers, all of them, they have equivalent of rest. It means that we need to be silent in music. So the same way each note has value and has a duration, the same way your rest have duration as well, because you need to know for how long you should be silent. Okay, so your whole note has rest that is written like this. It's kind of like a head turned upside down. So if I will place it on my staff here, it will look like this. So it's upside down. It's hanging upside down on your 4th line. So it's kind of placed on your 4th line, and it's turned upside down. Similar rest has a half note, and many students are getting confused between the two of them. They getting mixed up in recognizing them because they look very alike. So half rest looks like head, but it's turned in proper way. But if you will place it on the staff, it will be sitting on your 3rd line. It will be sitting on your 3rd line, and it will be sitting on top of it. So this is the difference. Of course, when you take a look just on this part of the board, it is getting a little bit confusing, but if you will pay attention on which line sit in each of them, so then you can actually recognize them. Also, what helps to recognize each of them is that your whole rest, equivalent of whole note, has 4 beats, is placed on 4th line. So maybe there's something what's gonna help you. So if your rest is placed on 4th line, then it will be your whole rest. It will be your 4-beat rest. So if your rest is placed on 3rd line and it's sitting on top of it, it will be your half rest. Okay, next note is crotchet, and crotchet rest is very different. looks like this. So you're starting from your left corner, so 1, 2, 3, and kind of like a adding belly. If you will place it on the staff, it will look like this. So easy to recognize. Your quavers, I don't know why I'm writing two. Should really write only one of them. Yeah, like this. Your quaver rest looks like this, like a number 4 and a cursive. Number 4. And your semi-quaver rest, you remember I was telling you about number of tails, yeah? So the same thing is happening with rest. It's not just 2 beams and 2 tails, it's also 2 hooks in your rest. So basically it will look like this. It will have two hooks on the rest. So it looks exactly the same as your quaver rest, except it has two hooks. So you write in number 4, and after you add in a small hook underneath. So each of them, they have exactly the same length. So whole knot rest 4 beads, half knot rest 2 beads, crochet rest 1 bead. Your quaver rest has a half bead, and your semi-quaver rest is even quarter of the bead. So of course, if you see written, for example, two semi-quaver rests, they will be equal half bead. And for example, you can see afterwards your quaver that is even half beat as well. After adding them, we get in 1 full beat, so it's kind of full stack. Okay, so this is all what I was planning to introduce in this first lesson, and I think it's plenty of material to work with. So trying to make like a little table for yourself somewhere in a book or on your laptop, or I don't know which tool do you use to make your notes. So try to make little like a spreadsheet where you can write everything what I explained during this lesson. So the first table of comparison and the relation between knots, second one where we were linking your crochet quaver and semi-quaver to one second, to 1 bead, and finally this one where we linking and where we're practicing to recognize and write your rest. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson, and if you have any questions, or I don't know, you have something what you would like to ask me, please write me in the chat, and I will be happy to help you and to navigate you through your learning. See you in our lesson number 2.